And do y'all think we could get more creative with this shit? Like, if we gonna keep talking about the same 5 topics, like, y'all think hip-hop could be more creative right now, more like unique? I think it could. I don't know. What up, world? Him and Wade checking in, and we are back with another video. Before we go any further, man, make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube page. Go ahead, ring the notification bell so you'll get all the notifications for the videos I have coming later this week. And without further ado, we gonna get into this thing. So tonight, I just really want to talk about like over-sexualization of hip-hop. And I know somebody probably like, damn, he just want to just jump head first into like some deep shit. But like, okay, I'm a 90s baby. And I just think in general, right? This is how I be thinking conversations I kind of be having in my head or kind of with myself. Just thinking about hip hop. Like, I love hip hop so much, and I always hear the stories that come up and certain things. And I be thinking about all the wild things that go on in hip hop. But just as of lately, I'm just hearing certain songs and new artists and seeing certain videos and everything going on, and I'm like, man, either I'm getting old or like it's just like everything is like hip hop is just too sexy and sexual right now. Like, it's just crazy to me. And like, mind you, like I'm not approved, not at all. But it's just like, man, you know, as I was stating in the beginning, like I'm a 90s baby, born in 91. I personally feel like everybody after basically all the 80s babies to now, we all over hypersexualized. Like, we all have been introduced to sex at younger ages as the decades went on, you know, from the 80s babies to the 90s babies, 90s babies to the 2010s, you know, like being introduced to sex and what that is and the many different forms of how it's, you know, kind of spoon fed to us. The ages start getting younger and younger. And as a hip hop fan, it's always gonna be something sexual in hip hop. And just in entertainment in general, we know that sex sells. So in general with hip hop, this shit is just like everything you hear is sex, sex, sex. And it was like that in the 90s. It was like that in the early 2000s. And then when it got super popularized and commercialized, like it still stayed that way. Like, once you got to super mainstream, and now it's the number one genre in the world. So that's the sexy is still a part of hip hop, and it's always gonna be that way. But I kind of trip out thinking about where we came from the 90s and, you know, early 2010, 2000s, 2010s, where it was predominantly male artists, to where we are now in the, you know, 2020s, and it's a good chunk of female artists that are rapping now. And like, particularly, you know, I'm gonna talk about entertainment, hip hop, and all, you know, different genres, but always gonna touch on the rap shit. And it's a lot of female rappers that like they still like just dress super sexy, almost as if like they was the vixens from back in the day. And I'm sure somebody can make the argument like, oh well, you know, they 90s babies. A lot of these girls are 90s and 80s babies too, and they grew up seeing the same thing that I saw with a lot of dudes. Like, you know, it was super sexy chicks in there doing sexual shit in the videos. That's just the lifestyle they was living. And so maybe the girls that's rapping now, maybe they think that's what they need to do to be popping. But it's just like, it to me, it's just crazy. It's like, yo, and just to break it down in simple terms, even not only the looks is always wild, but like in just in general now, society is just like trying to push the limits of what's sexy and what you can do and how less you can wear here and there, whatever. Like, that's just in general outside of music, but it's crazy in the music. But even with the lyrics, man, like, rappers gonna pop they shit, and female rappers is gonna pop as much shit as male rappers. But like, every male rapper is fucking the local guy's girl, and every female rapper is fucking the local girl's guy. And you know, you even got some chicks that's fucking other niggas' chicks. Like, come on, man, it's crazy. And the lyrics is all just repetitive, and everything is super crazy, sexual, and it's not even creative. Like, that's my biggest gripe with the shit, is like, it's not even in a creative way. At least back in the day, and this is where I don't know if I'm just getting old or what, but there was some creativity to the songs, or like, you know, maybe it was because of the slang and the lingo was different or whatever, but there was just like still an essence of like, it was straightforward, but it was just, I don't know, it was just better. Like, it was just better. Or maybe just hip hop wasn't as sexual as over sexual as it is now, to me anyway. But the songs now, it's all repetitive, it's all back to back, it's all the same. And they're not even being creative with it. When we talking love songs, even if it's just songs about sex, whatever, it's just not even creative to me, man. So I don't know. I think right now hip hop is just way too hypersexualized, and I honestly think hip hop is the most the most hypersexualized genre in the world. Like, just period. Like, I mean, again, sex is gonna sell in entertainment, so pop and different genres, they do have their sex appeal, but with hip hop and rap in particular, hip hop and R&B and rap in particular, like, rap is the most hypersexualized genre in the world. It's hands down. You know what I'm saying? And I think now it's just like, okay, we've had the arguments before amongst in the hip hop community, just amongst like hip hop being over sexualized and whose fault it is, men started it, and like, I do take accountability. Us as men, we like girls to look sexy and certain shit, and some of it, I think a lot of those men that were doing that shit in the 90s and the 2000s, not necessarily saying they regret it all, but they definitely probably would have, it's not the same now, but just the times were different. We learn more, we grow more and all that. But where we are now, it's like the women are getting to a point to where they're more so taking over the game and starting to run the game. And some of the women were the ones making an argument about how hip hop was before, and now it's like it's still that same way, but it's a lot more women representing that. And I think this is where a lot of dudes get to the point to where they're like, they're talking shit like, oh, all they do, all bitches doing, talking about, popping their pussy, woo doo doo. And it's like, yeah, but I mean, for a while that was hip hop, to like brag and braggadocious raps, and that was hip hop. But at this point, it's just over the top. It's oversaturated, over the top, overdone, and like it's not creative at all to me. So I don't know. I feel like we gotta just get some, some different topics, different subjects, like sex and love and, all that shit. It's always gonna be something to talk about, but right now it's just too much, man. I be rapping about, bills and stress and happy days and, bad days. It's still relationships and, parenting and shit. Like, it's other shit to rap about, man. It's like especially the mainstream, it's like they only got five topics. Like, they got 5 main topics: sex, love sometimes, heartbreak, money, and then ops. Basically ops and drilling. It's like, that's it. And you already know I don't even want to get too crazy on that topic in these videos, because, man, all that shit is redundant too. But what y'all think, man? I don't know. Do y'all feel like hip hop is over sexualized, or is it? I think it's like I said, the most hypersexualized genre in the world. And where we are now, y'all think we need to, as a community in hip hop, y'all think we need to scale it back on like the sexy shit and the sexual shit a little bit? Like, I also heard Ray Daniels point out, I think it was Ray Daniels or it was somebody on his podcast, but he basically pointed out that like kids today, they ain't got nobody to listen to, because even the kids is rapping about grown-up shit, And like, I remember, again, 90s baby, we grew up in the 2000s, we had Bow Wow, and of course the Little Romeos and Sammys and the Little Corys and all the littles that came out, Lil Wayne, of course, like, clearly, and all the littles that came out the late 90s and the early 2000s, but like was kids with me. But see, Lil Wayne was one who was growing up fast, but then you had Lil Bow Wow, and he was rapping about school and basketball and shit that was relatable to kids. Right now we don't really have it. All the 13-year-olds, I don't really know much about Lil Tyler, but I think he more so like 15, 16 or something. He later teenage years, but he been popping for a while now, and all his shit is the same shit the grown-ups talk about. YB, all his shit was the same shit the grown-ups was talking about. Now this is gonna be a reflection of how they grew up, of course, but it's also a lot of kids, just like a lot of these grown-up rappers that's rapping about shit they ain't got nothing that they ain't never seen. They people don't live like none of that. So who you think really can make the change? Like, you think it's the artists, you think it's the execs, you think it's society and the consumers? Like, as far as the super sexualized aspect of hip hop. And do y'all think we could get more creative with this shit? Like, if we gonna keep talking about the same 5 topics, like, y'all think hip hop could be more creative right now, more like unique? I think it could. I don't know. But y'all leave y'all comments down below. and just tell me what you think, man. Until next time, I go by the name of Hemingway. I'm out of here.